Hi and welcome to Cry Scream Relax. So today I'm going to just do a quick video on purpose because I had a really interesting interaction today with my son. So I just want to hop back and say I did a video a couple of years ago and it was about dysthymia. Dysthymia is basically a really long depression, and it's a functioning depression. So you can do all your day-to-day tasks, but you just feel nothing. Nothing makes you happy, and you just feel like you're in a really deep, dark hole, and nothing's working. So that video is the only video out of the videos that I put out, and I put out quite a few, but I've deleted a lot just because they weren't in the keeping of the theme of what I was going for. But that video about dysthymia is the only one where people still comment on it because it's quite relevant. And I think what at that time when I was making that video, I was in my bedroom and I was so like, I don't even have makeup on. I look so tired. It's filmed on a really old phone. And I just thought, oh my gosh, like look at the state. And I was telling my brother, like, oh, I need to redo that video because it's just, look how bad it is. And he was like, no, sis, because that's what people relate to. It is the rawness of you telling them, this is how I feel. Is this how you feel? Like, and these are the things like maybe that can help it, sort of thing. And then I had a conversation with my son. So my son's 22 years old. He's just come back from Canada and he's meeting up with his old friends. And he's saying to me, one of his friends is just out of sorts and he's lost his way. And they must have like a little group chat. And he was like, everybody in the group chat's telling him and he's not listening. And I've told him on like separately and blah, blah, blah. And he's not listening. I'm telling him this and blah, blah, blah. And I'm stood there and I'm listening and I'm like, yeah, but you have no patience. My son has no patience. And I think sometimes when, like, if my son asks a question and then the person says that whatever the answer is, my son's just like, oh, right, that's it, I've had enough. He has no patience. He doesn't have whatever it is. I don't know what the word, because it's not empathy, because he does have empathy. But I think it's just a guy thing. They don't want to sort of dig deep. And I was saying to my son, look, he's doing the things that he's doing because there's unresolved trauma there, right? And even though he's saying he's fine, because my son goes, no, but I asked him, he said he's fine. Right, but we don't just take things on face value. You have to dig deeper. You have to say, listen, you're saying you're fine, but you're not. What you've actually done is suppressed all this stuff, and it's coming out now in a negative form. And I'm saying to my son, well, maybe you need to take him to one side and be like, look, do you want to come and do this with me, just me? And then you can maybe talk to him, And he's like, no, he won't do it. No, he won't do it. I'm like, but have you asked him? And he's like, yeah, but I don't think he will. And I'm like, right, but you haven't even given him the option to say no. You're just assuming that he's going to say no. You have to at least say, do you want to do it? If he says no, okay, then that was his choice to say no. But if he says yes, then that is your stepping stone then to get somewhere with this, because he's actually open to the idea of doing something different. But if you're saying, oh, it won't even, it's like, don't be. If you're coming from a negative space, you're going to get a negative answer. So anyway, we were going through it, and then I said to my son, you know what? I was like, what does he do? What are his hobbies? Like, And he was like, oh, I don't think he wants to do anything. I think he just, he don't want to work. He don't want to do anything. And it clicked in my head. It's when I had dysthymia, you feel so lost and you don't know what your purpose is. You don't know what you're actually doing. And I said to my son, he needs to find his purpose. Now, when I think about purpose and life, I don't know. I do not have scientific fact of why we are here, okay? And yeah, we can say Big Bang, Adam and Eve. I don't know. We could just be a massive experiment for all anybody knows, I don't know if we're in a different parallel universe. I don't know what's happening, but what I do believe is that this is a life journey. And for some reason, we are here to find our purpose and to do good with this life journey. I feel like the body being our vessel, you know, we have been given this as an opportunity and we shouldn't squander this opportunity. And for me, coming out of dysthymia, I was like, I feel from that video, looking back at that video, is I wanted to be an advocate and I just wanted to tell people how I was feeling, because I was like, there must be somebody who feels like that and they're stuck too. And they don't have the confidence to get on camera and say something, but I do. And I was like, that is my purpose. My purpose is to help people. I don't have finances to help people, but I have my spoken word and I have clarity in my mind of what I can do to help people in terms of talking and listening. That is my purpose. I have a severely autistic child. So at the time when I was talking about dysthymia, you know, I wanted to be the person who says, look, this is what happens when you have an autistic child. This is how shitty it is. This is how it makes you feel. Who else feels like that? Let's start a community of that. This is what it feels like when you have dysthymia or any other mental illness. Let's talk about that. Let's start a nice community where we can grow together. That is been my aim. And I haven't never acted on it because I'm always like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't think anybody knows what they're doing until they just get out there and try it. But I found my purpose of, it is about talking to people, listening to people and trying to help people. And I started a course at the beginning of the year. Really, it was just so that I can get the accreditation to say that I am a certified life coach. And the next part of that is the consulting part of it, because I just feel like, you know, people would feel more comfortable if I had a certification in it and not just chatting pap. But that is my purpose. I feel that my purpose is to help people, is to listen and to connect and to, you know, make people see that there's something better for them and to try and connect them with whatever their purpose is. We're all different. We all want different things. You know, I've always said I want to live in a log cabin in the middle of the woods. And my mama Linda always says that is the worst case scenario for me. And I'm like, what? You know, we all want different things. We're not all meant to be clones of each other. We're all meant to do something different. And even though, you know, look at all the authors. You can have a gazillion authors who write horror stories or period dramas. They're all doing it in their own unique way. They're still the same genre of thing, but you know, everybody's unique to do things in whatever they do. So I think that purpose is about finding what it is that you truly love doing, not just about saying I've got to follow the social norm and I have to just get this job because the job pays the bills. But what is it truly that your soul desires? What is it that you feel that you are really good at doing? Go pursue it. You know, I'm doing this now. It's 2025, November. I know that, you know, as much as I hate coming to terms with it and saying it out loud, but life is short. This life journey could end at any minute. And I have to make sure that I've fulfilled what I believe my purpose to be. And I feel that that's what everybody needs to find. Don't matter how old you are, you need to find what your purpose is and you need to start living your purpose. And yeah, I think that's the way to go. So if you don't know as well, if you are completely in that dysthymia phase where you just think, I don't even know what my life purpose is, I don't even know what I like to do anymore, you have to do all sorts of things in that case to try and find what you like. Most people, I find, especially young children, they don't know if they like horse riding if they've never been around horses or on a farm or in the countryside. You know, they don't know if they like marine biology if they've never experienced being around the sea or you know, marine ecosystems or anybody talking about it. You don't know if you're a fantastic musician if none of your family members play music and they never take it. I'm sure I just spat everywhere. And they never take you to, you know, a gig or anything like that. You don't know if you are the next best-selling author if you're not around books and your parents don't take you to the library and you know, read to you, even if it's magazines or poetry, or you don't know unless you are around it and absorbed in it. You know, that is how it is. You've got to get into certain things to find your purpose. I am just a girl from Yorkshire with this Yorkshire accent who wants to just help the world. I want to just make sure that everybody is absolutely fine. I don't know if I can achieve all of that, but I know that if just by putting this video out and one person watches it who's feeling a bit down and out, and they're like, yeah, I just need to find a hobby, or I need to find something that I can get into. If I've just sprinkled a little bit of sunshine into one person, I've done my job, and I'm truly happy and grateful. So find what your purpose is and get on with it, and don't listen to any naysayers. Your soul will guide you the right way. See you next time.